My guy, I want you to listen to this, because this is nuts. Just listen to this. Listen. Did you hear that? Did you hear that? Here. I don't think you heard it. Okay, wait for it. Okay, that one was not as good. Hold up. Let me get my bearings. Bro. Holy crap. I made chips today. Like my own chips. It's nuts. Okay? It's nuts. Okay. They look good though. This is the last chip in the bowl. It's good though. It's legit. I'm pretty hyped about it. I'm not gonna lie. So, I know, it was a crunch, right? I agree. It was pretty dope. I'm pretty hyped about my chips. So, welcome to stream. Thanks for coming. Appreciate it. Today, just like every day, was a day. Half of my students didn't show up to class. That was good. That was good stuff. Sorry. My book is on my bookshelf. Let me go grab it real quick. I know, right? I'm providing all of the ASMR, Lorenzo. Yeah. Oh, yeah. So, man, you cannot see this, but my desk is a mess. But it's okay. This evening is an organizational evening. I need to still clean up the potato chip mess. Or I need to cook the rest of the potato chips. I haven't decided yet because I don't have a bag for them yet. I need to get a bag or some kind of vessel to hold my chips. So that'll be good to do eventually. I'm trying to think what's happening in my world other than the fact that I have like this halo looking thing. It's my light. My ceiling light is actually truly just the pinnacle of overhead light fixtures. So it's truly gorgeous. It's got like a weird, I don't know how you would describe it. So it's got like a glass cover on it, and then it's got like a bunch of tiny dots of glass that make a texture on it. But the thing is, the texture is like two butterflies floating in the sky, and I'm just like, this was a choice that somebody made, and that was the choice that they made on purpose, and someone chose to design this on purpose. Yeah. Lorenzo, the amount of times that I've heard this joke. Anytime I was in chemistry or physics, and we were learning about like how light works, people would always be like, ultraviolet. We seal a Lay's bag with your own chips and hand them out as a test run. Yeah, I know, I should start a chip empire. Well, they're sweet potatoes, fun fact. They're not regular potatoes. Which, the sweet potatoes that you would normally see, they're orange on the inside, but the ones that they sell in Korea are white on the inside. So, I like them though. They're a little bit sweeter, but I said this before, I'm trying to not eat so many processed foods, and it turned out well. It's just, I think I need to get a mandolin to cut the potatoes next time because I'm gonna be too lazy to do this every time I do it, because my knife is not super sharp, and my willpower to do this every single day that I want chips, or at least every other day that I want chips, is too low. It's too low. So I gotta figure that out. And I gotta get a slotted spoon. Mandolin and slotted spoon for the win. But otherwise it'll be fine. So today, let's see. I'm trying to think if anything. Yeah, I mean that's the big thing that I did today. It took me an hour and a half to make potato chips. 2 bowls of potato chips. It's actually pretty pitiful, but it's alright. Once I got the hang of it, I think it'll take less time once I get the hang of it, like actually, but that's okay. It's cool. We're chilling. We're hanging. It's fine. Who's there? Mandolin and the slotted spoons. Amanda who? Amanda Lynn. I knew it. Why did she change the way she spells her name? Amandolin? What? Sorry, I didn't mean to predict the joke at hand. Sorry. Okay. So yeah, Hamlet. We're doing Hamlet today. Woo, Hamlet. Yeah, Hamlet. I forgot to post the video from yesterday. I promise I will post the video from yesterday today. I should also plug in the computer while we're here. Oh, man. What a day. So yesterday, we were reading about... What were we reading about? We were reading Hamlet yesterday. Crazy. So... we were reading... We finished scene 3. So it was like the inception scene of the entire play, right? So the play is about a dude who kills the king and then seduces the queen. So while this is happening, and whenever the king dies, what happens is the king, like the actual king, Uncle Claudius, sorry, there was salt on my computer. Uncle Claudius, he says to everyone, he's just like, stop the play, I don't want to see any more of this play, I'm finished, I'm through, da da da. And everyone's just like, oh, and then Hamlet's like, that's suspicious, I wonder why he stopped the play. And Uncle Claudius was just like, well, he's in a room by himself at this point. He's in a room and he's like, well, I guess Hamlet's figured it out that killed his dad, and now he's gonna want to kill me. So I guess I should pray about it. So he goes into this whole scene about like wanting to repent for his sins, and eventually he's just like, yeah, I finally prayed about it, and now God will forgive me for killing my brother. Thanks, homie. And yeah, that's it. And Hamlet, oh yeah, Hamlet comes in when he's praying, and then Hamlet's just like, I'm gonna kill him now. And then he's like, never mind, I'm not gonna kill him now because he's praying, and that would be savage of me. Like, that would be uncivilized of me to kill him while he's praying and defenseless. I'm gonna kill him instead when he's either having sex with my mom or when he's drunk, and so he can see who the killer really is. Because it's mainly about him having his eyes closed. He's like, I'd rather he see me when he dies instead of sneaking up behind him. So, yeah, that's it. That's what happened yesterday. And so the king is planning on getting Hamlet exiled. He wants Hamlet out of the country. He wants him in England. So he's asking Rosencrantz and Guildenstern to take him to England, is what's happening. So Yeah. Anyway, so we're in scene 4, and it's the queen's closet. I know, right, Unto Design? That's what I'm saying, right? Like, where was the English teacher whenever you could have, like, just had an explanation? Anyway, so, scene 4, it's the queen's closet. I think this is the only scene we're probably going to read. Maybe not, because it's kind of short-ish. It's like 5-6 pages. Depends on how fast we read. Because sometimes I don't read the fastest. But we're in the queen's closet. So the queen requested the presence of Hamlet. And the queen was like, I need to talk to him. And Polonius went to go get Hamlet. And Polonius was like, Hamlet, your mom wants to talk to you. And he's like, fine. I'll go talk to my mom. But I guess he made a pit stop on the way to talk to his unky father Cornelius. Anyway, the queen and Polonius came in. And Polonius says, he will come straight. Look you lay home to him. Tell him his pranks have been too broad to bear with, and that your grace hath screened and stood between much heat in him. I'll silence me even here. Pray you be round with him. And then queen says, I'll warrant you, fear me not, withdraw. I hear him coming. So, Polonius is just like, you need to be straight up with him, and you need to tell him his pranks are unacceptable, and the things that he is doing, it's just childish and wrong. And Queen's like, yeah, I got it, okay, you know what, I know what my role is here, I know what I'm supposed to do, okay? Don't tell me what to do. I know what I'm supposed to do. And then Polonius hides behind the arras, and I'm guessing, what is an arras? Arras? What is it? Arras, a tapestry of Flemish origin, used especially for wall hangings and curtains. I knew it! I knew he was hiding behind a curtain. He's always hiding behind a curtain. Every time. So he hides behind a curtain, and Hamlet comes in. And Hamlet says, now, mother, what's the matter? And the queen says, Hamlet, thou hast thy father much offended. And Hamlet says, mother, you have my father much offended. Which, that's big coming from the queen saying you've offended your father. Because, like, let's be honest here. Cornelius is not his father. If they went on Maury right now, they'd be like, Cornelius, you are not the father. And everyone would be like, whoa! And the queen would be like, no! And then she'd run to the back of the studio and be just, like, crying on a sofa. Anyway, so the queen is referring to Unky Cornelius, and Hamlet's referring to his actual father, saying, like, essentially, like, everything you've done, all of the actions you've shown have been offensive to the memory of my father. And the queen says, come, you answer with an idle tongue, Hamlet. Go, you question with a wicked tongue. Queen, why, how now, brown cow, Hamlet? Hamlet says, what's the matter now? And Queen says, has you forgot me? And Hamlet says, no, by the rood, not so. You are the queen, your husband's brother's wife. And would it were not so, you are my mother. And the queen says, nay then, I'll set those to you that can speak. And Hamlet says, come and sit you down. You shall not budge, you go not till I set you up a glass where you may see the inmost part of you. And the queen says, what wilt thou do? Thou wilt not murder me. Help! 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 So the queen is like, what are you going to do about everything that I've done, huh? What action are you going to take against me? Because to be honest, there's nothing you can do. What, are you going to murder me? And then she starts screaming hysterically, and she's like, help! 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 And then Polonius behind the curtain, he says, what ho! Help! 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 And Hamlet draws the curtain back. Oh my god, Polonius is so dumb. Polonius is so dumb. So Polonius essentially was like, oh, do I need to help, or do I need to call for help through the window? And Hamlet draws his sword and says, how no, brown cow, or a rat. Dead for a ducat, dead. And then he makes a pass through the arras, aka the curtain. And Polonius behind it says, "Oh, I am slain." And then he falls and dies. Good riddance, Polonius. I did not like you at all. I'm so glad he's dead. And the queen says, "Oh me, what hast thou done?" And Hamlet says, "Nay, I know not. Is it the king?" And Queen says, "Oh, what a rash and bloody deed is this!" Hamlet says, "A bloody deed, almost as bad, good mother, as kill a king and marry his brother." And the queen says, "As kill a king?" And Hamlet says, "Aye, lady, 'twas my word." And then he lifts up the curtain and discovers Polonius. So the queen's like, "Do you know what you just did?" And Hamlet's like, "Oh no, did I kill the king on accident?" And she's like, "What do you mean kill the king?" Like, "No, of course." And he's like, "Oh, well, is it as bad as killing a king and then marrying his wife in his place as a new king?" And she's just like, "I don't understand what you're trying to say." And Hamlet says, "Aye, 'twas my word." And then he sees Polonius and says, "Thou wretched wretch, thou wretched, rash, intruding fool, farewell. I took thee for thy better, take thy fortune, thou findest to be too busy in some danger. Leave a ringing in your hands, peace, sit you down and let me wring your heart, for so I shall, if it be more made of penetrable stuff, if damned custom have not brazed it so, had it be proof and bulwark against sense." So Hamlet's essentially just like, "Good riddance, Polonius." He feels the same way I do about Polonius. He's just like, "Dude, no one liked you. You suck." Which he kind of does, right? Again, he's the simp of the king. He's just like, "King, I will do anything for you." And the queen says, "Aye, me. What act that roars so loud and thunders in the index?" And Hamlet says, "Look here upon this picture and on this, the counterfeit presentment of two brothers. See what a grace was seated on this brow. Hyperion's curls, the front of Jove himself. An eye like Mars to threaten and command a station like the herald Mercury new lighted on a heaven-kissing hill. A combination of a form indeed, where every god did seem to set his seal to give the world assurance of a man. This was your husband." So Hamlet obviously is hyping up his father, right? He's just like, "Okay, this is the dude that you were married to. This is the dude that you loved. Why don't you love him anymore? Look you now what follows. Here is your husband, like a mildewed ear, blasting his wholesome brother. Have you eyes? Could you on this fair mountain leave to feed and batten on this moor? Have you eyes? You cannot call it love, for at your age the heyday in the blood is tame, it's humble, and awaits upon the judgment. And what judgment would step from this to this? Sense, sure you have. Else could you not have motion, but sure that sense is apoplexed. Apoplexed? What is apoplex? A-P-O-P-L-E-X. Okay, what is apoplexy? Apoplexy. Sudden impairment of neurological function. Wow. Or it can also mean extreme anger, but still. Okay. I digress. Hold up. I gotta find my place. I lost it. Oh, okay. Sense, sure you have, else could you not have motion, but sure that sense is apoplexed, for madness would not err, nor sense to ecstasy was never so enthralled, but it reserved some quantity of choice to serve in such a difference. What devil was that thus hath cozened you at hoodman blind? Eyes without feeling, feeling without sight, ears without hands or eyes, smelling sans all, or but a sickly part of one true sense could not so mope. Right, exactly. Have you eyes? Right, are you blind? Can you imagine somebody being like, "Have you eyes?" I mean, some people do say, "Do you have eyes?" To be fair. But, I mean, "Have you eyes?" in modern grammar would be a little bit different. So, essentially, he says, yes, you have sense, you have sensibility, for sure. But which sense do you have? Because honestly, with only one sense and lacking the others, it makes you like a dumb, stupid idiot that you don't make sense. You're not going to make good decisions. Can you tell that you didn't make a good decision? Because you didn't even mourn my father for a second before you just married somebody else. My uncle. Anyway. Oh, shame. Where is thy blush? Rebellious hell, if thou canst mutine in a matron's bones, to flaming youth let virtue be as wax and melt in her own fire. Proclaim no shame when the compulsive ardor gives the charge, since frost itself as actively doth burn and reason panders will. The queen says, O Hamlet, speak no more. Thou turnest mine eyes into my very soul, and there I see such blacking rain spots as will not leave their tinct. And Hamlet says, so the queen is like, don't make me think about myself. I don't want to think about the terrible decisions I've made. That's so terrible of you, Hamlet. Don't do that. She's not smiling, obviously, but I'm smiling just because of the way that clearly she hasn't thought about her decisions, and she hasn't thought about how the decisions she has made would affect anyone else other than herself. And Hamlet says, nay, but to live in the rank sweat of an enseamed bed, stewed in corruption, honeying and making love over the nasty sty. And Queen interrupts and says, oh, speak to me no more. These words like daggers enter in my ears no more, sweet Hamlet. So Hamlet's just like, I can't believe you would go to bed with this guy. It's so disgusting, especially over the mess that he made. And she's just like, stop talking. And Hamlet says, a murderer and a villain, a slave that is not 20th part to the tithe of your precedent lord, a vice of kings, a cut-purse of the empire and the rule, that from a shelf the precious diadem stole and put it in his pocket. And the queen says, no more. And Hamlet says, a king of shreds and patches. And then the ghost comes in. He goes, ooh. He just enters. And Hamlet says, save me and hover over with your wings, your heavenly guards. What would your gracious figure? And Queen says, alas, he's mad. And Hamlet says, you not come your tardy son to chide? That lapsed in time and passion lets go by the important acting of your dread command? Oh, say! Okay. So Hamlet's just like, admit you're wrong. Admit you're wrong. Admit that you messed up. Because you really hurt my feelings. You never mourned my father. You're just laying in bed with this new man, and it's disgusting, and it seems almost as if you were just eager and ready to do it. So why are you doing this? I need to know, why are you doing this? And then the ghost interrupts. And I'm curious, I don't think the queen can hear the ghost. I think the ghost is like just whispering to Hamlet, and the ghost says, do not forget. This visitation is but to whet thy almost blunted purpose. But look, amazement on thy mother sits. Oh, step between her and her fighting soul. Conceit in weakest body's strongest works. Speak to her, Hamlet. Okay, so the ghost is like, look, don't go overboard, okay? Just, it's good that you're speaking to her, but also, don't, like, go in on her, okay? She needs to realize what she's done, but, like, don't be so aggressive. And then Hamlet, like, winds it back so fast. Yeah, exactly. I know, the ghost comes in and he's just like, hey, man. Let's chill out. Let's chill out. Let's just hang. It's cool. And Hamlet reels it back. He's like, how is it with you, lady? And Queen says, alas, how is it with you? That you do bend your eye on vacancy, and with the incorporeal air do hold discourse. Forth at your eyes your spirits wildly peep, and as the sleeping soldiers in the alarm your bedded hair, like life and excrements, start up and stand at end. O gentle sun, upon the heated flame of thy distemper sprinkle cool patience. Whereon do you look? So, she's just like, how do you think I am, bro? But, like, you seem like a mess. She's like, I'm worried about you. What's happening with you? He says, on him. On him. Look you how pale he glares, his form and cause conjoined, preaching to stones would make them capable. Do not look upon me, lest with this piteous action you convert my stern effects. Then what I have to do will want true colour, tears perchance for blood. And the queen says, to whom do you speak this? And Hamlet says, do you see nothing there? Queen, nothing at all, yet all that is I see. Hamlet, nor did you nothing hear? And Queen says, no, nothing but ourselves. Hamlet, why look you there, look how it steals away, my father is in his habit, as he lived. Look where he goes, even now, out at the portal. And then the ghost exits. He's just like, ooh, I'm sliding out of here before my wife sees me. I haven't even brushed my hair. Hamlet's like, you didn't see the ghost. And the queen's like, nah. And she's like, you didn't hear the ghost? And she's like, nah. And he's like, no, he's over by the door. Don't you see? She's like, nah, man. And he's just like, yeah, I'm out. And the queen says, this is the very coinage of your brain. This bodily creation ecstasy is very cunning in. And Hamlet says, ecstasy? My pulse is yours, both temperately keep time and makes it healthful music. It is not madness that I have uttered. Bring me to the test, and I the matter will reward which madness gamble from. Mother, for love of grace, lay not that flattering unction to your soul, that not your trespass, but my madness speaks. It will but skin and film the ulcerous place which rank corruption, mining all within, infects unseen. Confess yourself to heaven, repent what's past, avoid what is to come, and do not spread the compost on the weeds to make them ranker. Forgive me this my virtue, for in the fatness of this pursy times virtue, itself of vice, must beg pardon. Yet curb and woo for leave to do him good. Okay, so Hamlet's like, whoa. You think I'm crazy? Let me take a test. Let me take a sanity test. I will pass it with flying colors, okay? But, you know, you say that maybe you're going to go to heaven, even though you haven't repented and you haven't done anything to prove that maybe you would go to heaven. So maybe you the crazy one. And Hamlet says, Queen says, oh, Hamlet, thou hast cleft my heart in twain. And Hamlet says, oh, throw away the worser part of it, and live the purer with the other half. Good night. But go not to my uncle's bed. Assume a virtue if you'd have it not. That monster, custom, who all sense doth eat of habits evil, is angel yet in this, that to the use of actions fair and good he likewise gives a frock or livery that aptly is put on. Refrain tonight, and that shall lend a kind of easiness to the next abstinence. The next more easy, for use almost can change the stamp of nature, and either master the devil, or throw him out with wondrous potency. Once more, good night, and when you are desirous to be blessed, a blessing beg of you, for this same Lord. And then he points to Polonius. I do repent, but heaven hath pleased it so to punish me with this, and this with me, that I must be their scourge and minister. I will bestow him, and will answer well the death I gave him. So, again, good night. I must be cruel, only to be kind. This bad begins, and worse remains behind. One word more, good lady. Do you sometimes talk to ghosts? Oops. Yes. Only sometimes, not only talk to ghosts, therefore I'm not crazy. Okay, so Hamlet's just like, if you can do anything for me, please do not go to my uncle's bed, okay? I want you to just sleep by yourself. It's the kind thing to do, and just repent. You know, use it as a marriage of convenience. Don't use it as a marriage of, I'm gonna have sex with this dude. Okay? And then he's like, as for Polonius, I will dispose of the body. That's my repentance to, that's my burden to bear. I need to repent for that. That's fine. And he's like, I have one more thing to say. And that's it. And the queen says, what shall I do? Hamlet says, "Not this by no means that I bid you do. Let the bloat king tempt you again to bed, pitch wanton in your cheek, call you his mouse, and let him, for a pair of reechy kisses or paddling in your neck with his damned fingers, make you to ravel all this matter out. That I essentially am not in madness and mad in craft. 'Twere good you let him know, for who, that's but a queen, fair, sober, wise, would from a paddock, from a bat, a gib, such dear concernings hide? Who would do so? No, in despite of sense and secrecy, unpeg the basket of the house's top. Let the birds fly, and like the famous ape, to try conclusions in the basket creep, and break your own neck down." So, Hamlet's just like, even if he tempts you, even if he like lays a hand on you, even if he wants you to be there, he's like, if it gets to the point where he's forcing you to be in bed with him, kill yourself. Don't, don't put up with it. Just end it. Because it's the fair thing to do. He can caress your cheek, I don't care. He can try to kiss you, that's fine. But as soon as you have to do something, it's over. Then Queen said, "Be thou assured, if words have made of breath, if words be made of breath and breath of life, I have no life to breathe what thou hast said to me." So the Queen's like, well, I don't know what to say. She's just like, I don't know what to say. You've told me these things, and according to your words, I don't have a life. I don't own my own life. I don't have any freedom, so I don't really know what to say about that. Hamlet says, "I must to England, you know that." So Hamlet's like, I'm going to England, right? I'm getting banished, right? And the Queen is like, "Alack, I had forgot. 'Tis so concluded on." She's the worst. I'm sorry. She's like, really? And Hamlet says, "There's letters sealed in my two schoolfellows, whom I will trust as I will adders fanged. They bear the mandate. They must sweep my way and marshal me to knavery. Let it work, for 'tis the sport to have the engineer hoist with his own petard. And it shall go hard, and I will delve 1 yard below their minds, and blow them at the moon. Oh, 'tis most sweet when in one line 2 crafts directly meet. This man shall set me packing. I'll leg the guts into the neighbor room. Mother, good night indeed. This counsellor is now most still, most secret, and most grave, who is in life a foolish, prating knave. Come, sir, to draw toward and end with you. Good night, mother." And then they exeunt severally, and Hamlet is dragging Polonius out. I'm dead. That's awesome. Okay. I'm gonna take a drink. Back then, the OG internet KYS warriors. I know, right? So, essentially, Hamlet's getting exiled to England, okay? I feel like Hamlet was not exiled for so long, which was really unexpected for me, considering The Lion King and the self-transformation. I mean, I guess it makes sense, because, like, it's not a Disney movie, it's a tragedy by Shakespeare, but... Or is it a drama? I don't remember. I think it's a tragedy. Hold up. Shakespeare's dramas and tragedies. Let's see. Oh yeah, it is a tragedy. Okay, we're good. Oh, it's not a history. Oh, okay, tragedies are dramas. I was thinking of histories. So, because most of his histories are also tragedies. So, c'est la vie. It's cool. Okay. So let's see what's happening in the first act. Oh, whoa, these scenes are tiny. Oh, I just can't wait to be king. It's like 8 scenes in Act 4. That's nuts. And it's what? How long is it? It's 20 pages. And there are so many acts. That's great. There's so many scenes. It's fantastic. That's how I like it. Because then I can chop it up easier. Okay. So let's get started with Act 4. Might as well. Whatever. Porque no. English literature, Spanish language mixed together. Let's go! Okay, so Act 4, Scene 1, a room in the castle. In the castle. So we're with the king and the queen and the Rosencrantz and the Guildenstern. I thought Rosencrantz and Guildenstern were supposed to be in England with Hamlet. I don't know what that's about. Oh, maybe he hasn't been exiled yet. Are we literally not going to get like any footage of Hamlet being in exile? I don't know. I haven't read this yet, so I don't think we're going to get any like Hakuna Matata action at all. I'm going to just say. Okay, so the king says, there's matter in these sighs, these profound heaves, you must translate. 'Tis fit we understand them. Where is your son? The queen says, bestow this place on us a little while. And then Rosencrantz and Guildenstern exunt! Wow, they really contributed a lot to that scene. The queen is just like, look, king, I need to talk to you about Hamlet. The king says, oh, and then the queen says, ah, my lord, what have I seen tonight? And the king says, what, Gertrude? How does Hamlet? And the queen says, mad as the sea and wind, when both contend which is the mightier in his lawless fit behind the arras, hearing something stir, whips out his rapier, cries, a rat! A rat! And in this brainish apprehension kills the unseen good old man. So, the queen just kind of summed up what happened with Hamlet. He was like, ooh, there's a rat in the castle. And then killed Polonius. And then she was like, oh my gosh, it's so bad. You're so crazy, Hamlet. Oh wow, so crazy. And the king says, oh heavy deed. It had been so with us, had we been there. His liberty is full of threats to all. To you, yourself, to us, to everyone. Alas, how shall this bloody deed be answered? It will be laid to us, whose providence should have kept short, restrained and out of haunt, this mad young man. But so much was our love, we would not understand what was most fit, but like the owner of a foul disease, to keep it from divulging. Let it feed even on the pith of life. Where is he gone? Good luck on your interview unto design. I hope you have a wonderful interview, and I hope it goes well. And I'm sure you will be great. Good luck. Thank you for coming to stream. I will see you the next time you're here. Good luck. Goodbye. Okay. So, the king's just like, oh god, that's nuts. Where is he? You did not answer my question as to where he is. And the queen says, to draw apart the body he hath killed, over whom his very madness, like some ore among a mineral of metal's base, shows itself pure. He weeps for what is done. And king says, oh Gertrude, come away. The sun no sooner shall the mountains touch, but we will ship him hence. And this vile deed we must with all our majesty and skill go countenance and excuse. Ho, Guildenstern! So, the king is just like, we shall ship him away at once. You will be safe. I promise. I promise you will be okay. We will make sure that the trouble goes away. And he's just like, Guildenstern, get your butt over here. And Rosencrantz and Guildenstern come in, and he says, friends both, go join you with some further aid. Hamlet in madness hath Polonius slain, and from his mother's closet hath he dragged him. Go seek him out. Speak fair, and bring the body into the chapel. I pray you hasten this. And then Guildenstern and Rosencrantz exunt again. And then he says, come, Gertrude, we'll call up our wisest friends and let them know both what we mean to do. And that's untimely done, so slander. whose whisper over the world's diameter is level as the cannon to his blink, transports his poisoned shot, may miss our name and hit the woundless air. Oh, come away! My soul is so full of discord and dismay. So, the king is pretending like this is the worst thing ever and this is just like so terrible. And I mean, I'm sure there's part of him that's like, aw man, he killed Polonius, my number one hoe, you know? But at the same rate, it's like, he was planning to do this all along. And this just kind of confirmed that he was going to do it even more. And I think it kind of turned the queen on his side. Because I'm sure there was a little bit of apprehension from the queen, right? She was like, but he's my son. And the king was like, well, I know he's your son, but he committed murder. That was really good. Okay. So then it's scene 2. Another room is the castle, and Hamlet comes in, and Hamlet says, safely stowed. And Rosencrantz and Guildenstern are also there. I don't know. Oh, they're within the room. And Rosencrantz and Guildenstern say from within, Hamlet! Lord Hamlet! In unison. And Hamlet says, but soft, what noise? Who calls on Hamlet? Oh, here they come. And then Rosencrantz and Guildenstern come in. Hamlet's just like, I don't know who that was. Oh, wait. I see them. Rosencrantz comes in and says, what have you done, my lord, with the dead body? Hamlet says, compounded it with dust, whereto 'tis kin. Rosencrantz says, tell us where 'tis, that we may take it thence and bear it to the chapel. And Hamlet says, do not believe it. Rosencrantz says, believe what? Hamlet says, that I can keep your counsel and not mine own. Besides, to be demanded of a sponge, what replication should be made by the son of a king? And Rosencrantz says, take you me for a sponge, my lord. Hamlet, aye, sir, that soaks up the king's countenance, his rewards, his authorities. But such officers do the king best service in the end. He keeps them like an ape in the corner of his jaw, first mouth to be last swallowed. When he needs what you have gleaned, it is but squeezing you and sponge. You shall be dry again. So, Hamlet's like, oh, you want the body? No. I'm not giving you the body. Okay? I already disposed of the body. And I'm not going to let you put it in the chapel because the king wants to. Okay? I already got rid of it. I put it where it belongs, with the dust. Okay? The dust and the dirt and the grime. He was a disgusting man. I don't like him. And Rosencrantz is like, why? Hamlet's like, are you going to just continue to be a monkey that the king can play with? Because eventually he's going to run out of things for you to do. And he's not going to want you anymore. And he's going to put you in the trash like anybody else that he's ever interacted with. And Rosencrantz says, I understand you not, my lord. Hamlet says, I am glad of it. A knavish speech sleeps in a fool's ear. And Rosencrantz says, my lord, you must tell us where the body is and go with us to the king. And Hamlet says, the body is with the king, but the king is not with the body. The king is a thing. And Guildenstern says, a thing, my lord? Hamlet, of nothing. Bring him to me. And then he exits. Oh, everybody, exunts. Sorry. We're exunting. And then it's scene 3. And it's another room in the castle. Ha ha ha. The castle. And then the king comes in. Attended, by the way. He's not alone. Which, I mean, honestly, from the king's standpoint, smart man. Don't walk around alone when there's a man trying to murder you. The king says, I have sent to seek him and to find the body. How dangerous is it that this man goes loose. Yet must not we put the strong law on him? He's loved of the distracted multitude, who like not in their judgment, but their eyes, and where 'tis so, the offender's scourge is weighed, but never the offense. To bear all smooth and even, this sudden sending him away must seem deliberate pause. Diseases desperate grown by desperate appliance are relieved. Or not at all. And then Rosencrantz comes in, and the king continues, how now, brown cow? What hath befallen? And Rosencrantz says, where the dead body is bestowed, my lord, we cannot get from him. And king says, but where is he? And Rosencrantz says, without, my lord, guarded to know your pleasure. King, bring him before us. Rosencrantz, oh, Guildenstern, bring him, my lord. And Hamlet and Guildenstern comes in. And the king says, now, Hamlet, where's Polonius? Hamlet, at supper. King, at supper? Where? And Hamlet says, no, not where he eats, but where he is eaten. A certain convocation of political worms are eating at him. Your worm is your only emperor for diet. We fat all creatures else to fat us, and we fat ourselves for maggots. Your fat king and your lean beggar is but variable service. 2 dishes, but to 1 table. That's the end. So Hamlet's just like, I put him in the ground, bro. I fed him to the maggots. He's getting eaten as we speak. Hello, Akshay. Welcome to chat. And King says, alas, alas. And Hamlet says, a man may fish with the worm that hath eat of a king, and eat of the fish that hath fed of that worm. So Hamlet's like, maybe a worm will one day be used to fish and catch the fish of somebody who would like to eat. Maybe that worm has eaten a king. So just keep that in mind, It's the circle of life. And the king says, what dost thou mean by this? Hamlet, nothing but to show you how a king may go a progress through the guts of a beggar. And the king says, where is Polonius? And Hamlet says, in heaven. Send thither to see. If your messenger find him not there, seek him in the other place yourself. But indeed, if you find him not within this month, you shall nose him as you go up the stairs into the lobby. The king says to some attendants, go seek him there. And Hamlet says, he will stay till you come. And then the attendants exude. So Hamlet's essentially just saying, you'll find him eventually. I mean, if you take a month, he'll be a skeleton. But, it's alright. It happens. Oh, thank you, One True Villain. I appreciate the follow. But yeah, it's essentially what's happening is, also thank you, AK Shay. I appreciate it. So yeah, essentially Hamlet's just like flaming his dad, or his uncle. Is he's just like, bro, you're not gonna find him. And if you find him, you'll eventually find him, and he's just gonna be a skeleton, bro. And the king says, Hamlet, this deed for thine especial safety, which we do tender as we dearly grieve for that which thou hast done, must send thee hence with fiery quickness. Therefore prepare thyself. The bark is ready, and the wind at help. The associates tend, and everything is bent for England. Hamlet says, for England? And King says, aye, Hamlet. And Hamlet says, good. I get it, AK Shay. Honestly, I get the reading slump attitude. I've been there before. It's hard to get started reading after you've been out of reading for a long time, but I found it really rewarding after I started doing it again. It's nice to finally be able to read some literature after not doing it for so long. Okay, King. So is it, if thou knewest our purposes. And Hamlet says, if I see a cherub that sees them, but come for England, farewell, dear mother. The king says, thy loving father, Hamlet. And Hamlet says, my mother. Father and mother is man and wife. Man and wife is one flesh. And so, my mother, come for England. And so the king was essentially like, aren't you going to say goodbye to your father? And Hamlet's like, oh, my mother and father are of one flesh, and my father is dead. So by saying goodbye to my mother, I'm saying goodbye to my father. So I'll see you later. I'm going to England. Goodbye. And the king says, follow him on foot. Or follow him at foot. Tempt him with speed aboard, delay it not, I'll have him hence tonight. Away, for everything is sealed and done, that else leads on the affair. Pray you make haste. And then Rosencrantz and Guildenstern exunt after Hamlet. And then the king says, and England, if my love thou holdest at aught, as my great power thereof may give thee sense, since yet thy cicatrice looks raw and red after the Danish sword, and thy free awe pays homage to us. Thou mayest not coldly set our sovereign process, which imports it full by letters congruing to that effect, the present death of Hamlet. Do it, England, for like the For like the hectic in my blood he rages, and thou must cure me, till I know 'tis done, however my haps, my joys, were never begun. And then he exits. And that's it. Okay, I think that's where I'm going to stop for today, because that seems like a good stopping point and a very climactic stopping point, I think. Yeah, it's good. I know. I've never read The Picture of Dorian Gray. I've heard about it. I've heard it's really good. I've had it recommended to me a couple of times, actually. Um, it is on my book list at the moment. Not necessarily for reading on stream, because I read different things on stream than I do read just like day to day as well. I only read really classical literature. I just finished 1984. Next I'm either going to read The Hunchback of Notre Dame, or I'm going to read Lolita. I'm excited. Nabokov is one of my best friend's favorite writers, so I'm excited to read it and talk to her about it and see all of that. But yeah, so thank you for stopping by. Thank you for coming in. I really appreciate you coming and, watching along with me. I hope you have a great day or good evening or good afternoon. And yeah, I'll give you a nice old-fashioned goodbye. See you later. Thank you for coming. Goodbye.